Welcome back to the Football Showdown. Again, I have a very special guest, BJ, my cousin over here. We're going to be talking about Chelsea, and he's the Chelsea expert between the two of us. So, Mr. BJ, why don't you tell me why Chelsea are struggling and why they are 10th place right now, even after winning 2 straight games?
Number one, I would have to say, some people are going to disagree with me about this. I think and a lot of people are going to be vehemently disagreeing with me about this because I've seen a lot of people saying that he's the best thing about our club right now.
But only the real ones know that he's a problem, right?
Exactly.
All right.
Mauricio Pochettino.
Oh, that's going to get people mad.
He simply is out of his depth. He's not good enough. He constantly just picks nonsensical lineups. He's consistently just has the worst substitutions you can possibly make. His tactics, half the time we come out of there and come out the game and we're like, what is going on? And the other half the time we come out at halftime and we're like, what is going on? I just don't understand how people can look at what's going on with this club every week and say that Pochettino is the best thing about this club. And I get this club has a lot of things going wrong with it, and Pochettino isn't one of them. He's not the answer. He's one of the problems.
But some people will say that, he's done pretty well. He took Spurs to a Champions League final. He won the league with PSG. Yes, it took him a second try, but he did it. Do you think that he needs more time to be able to replicate that with Chelsea? Because Spurs had a young team, and it took him a little bit to get there. Could he do that with Spurs? With Chelsea, or is it just a lost cause no matter who you bring in January?
Last time I checked with Spurs, did he win anything? He did.
No, but they went to a Champions League final.
So he didn't. So that's not a successful tenure. He went to PSG, and you said it took him 2 tries.
Yeah.
So he didn't win the league.
No, he did. The first year he went there, he lost to Lille, and then he won the league.
Okay, so he didn't win this.
In the French Cup.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is he in his first year in England he won nothing. Yeah. In his second year in France, he had by far the best team in the league and failed to win his first year with Kylian Mbappe. Okay, so
it was the first year of Mbappe, Messi, and Neymar, I believe.
Okay, that's what I was thinking. So you just have those 3, and I'm supposed to think it's acceptable to not win the league against Lille. Lille.
When you put it like that, you got a point.
Okay, and so he comes here, and he's doing worse than what Graham Potter was doing last year. We're either level on points, or we have like 1 or 2 points less than what we did last year at this point. Yeah, and everybody was off with his head about Graham Potter. With a worse team, more chaos around the club, and it was off with his head. But I'm supposed to give Pochettino more time.
Yeah, because look, he has the experience of working with the youth, and like you said, Spurs didn't win anything, but they finished second in the Premier League to Leicester City. I know that's going to get you going, but went to a Champions League final where they had a magnificent run, beat Ajax 3-3 in the last couple minutes because of Lucas Moura. Went to I think either Carabao or FA Cup final. So he's been to some finals, hasn't won them until he went to PSG. But Chelsea aren't in a good position. Maybe give him a striker and a goalkeeper and see what he can do with that in January. Or
all you told me in that whole long sentence was that he's not a winner. That's all I got gathered out of that. That he's almost won things, but he hasn't. He's not a winner, and I'm saying that right now because you're just not going to win the league with. You can't have a coach that just consistently just rolling out trash. I'm not saying the players are trash. I'm saying his tactics, his lineups. If I have to see Levi Colwill, and if there's one more game where Levi Colwill and Desasi are both playing fullbacks at the same time in the same game, I'm going to lose it. That's sackable right there. I don't care if Kukurea is hurt, if Reece James is hurt, Ian Madison's right there. I don't care if you don't trust him. If I have to see Levi Colwill at left back one more time, and that's not even the worst part. He was playing Ben Chilwell at left wing while at the same time playing Levi Colwill at left back. And you're trying to tell me this guy knows what he's doing. He's just. We shouldn't spend too much time on Pochettino, but the point is He's a problem, not the solution. He's one of the problems.
Okay. So we got Pochettino out the way. There's a lot of Pochettino people in for Chelsea, but you're one of the few who aren't. Let's go to some of the players. Chelsea are always saying that people are always saying that Chelsea, need a striker because Nicholas Jackson isn't it, or Robert Sanchez and Petrovic aren't it, and they could do so with some other players like another winger. What do you think about Nicholas Jackson, who I think is one of the worst strikers in the Premier League?
I think one of the worst might be a little bit overkill. He definitely hasn't been great this season. A lot of Chelsea fans will be like, look at his goal tally. I mean, 3 of those came against 9-man Spurs. The other, basically, the rest of them are just tap-ins. I mean, if we're gonna, big up him for scoring against 9-man Spurs and tap-ins, it says a lot about the standards about a lot of fans around the club.
But some people will say that a striker's job is to always be in the right position at the right time and score those tap-ins like a Erling Haaland.
Exactly, except for halftime he doesn't score them. And I feel really bad for Raheem Sterling because a lot of people have ragged on him a lot this season, and I just don't get it. He hasn't been amazing. He hasn't been world class. He hasn't been a world beater. But the amount of times that Nicholas Jackson has let this man down, the amount of times that Raheem Sterling will just give him a sitter, just give him a full plate, and Nicholas Jackson just slaps it on the ground and just doesn't want it. I don't want it. It's just insane. He's robbed him of like 5 assists this season.
Trust me, I know. I have Darwin Núñez on my team. I know what it feels like to have a striker who doesn't score goals.
Our attackers are so wasteful, and I'm ragging on Nicholas Jackson right now, and it's pathetic. It's pathetic because he's our best striker. Our backup is even worse. Broja. This guy is so bad, and I don't understand why Chelsea fans have just, and not every Chelsea fan. A lot of Chelsea fans would agree with me that he's just not good enough. Sell him. But a lot of Chelsea fans just have it set in their head because he was good 2-3 years ago. He was a good prospect, but he just hasn't developed. He had a bad injury, and it's unfortunate. But he hasn't developed. I look at Broja, and he's out there, and halftime he just looks lost. Another halftime he just looks disinterested. And you combine that, you just have a big nothing sandwich. He's played not a lot this season, but when he has played, he's done nothing. He drew 1 pin against Man City. Big ups to him on that.
Hey, that was a big result for Chelsea.
Yeah.
And helped toward the title race for Liverpool and Arsenal and Aston Villa to get to where we are now.
Don't care about that.
I mean, I care. For me personally, that helped me out a lot. I was screaming and yelling about that. So, I mean, I give him credit for that. But like you said, I have to agree, he's been pretty bad.
And it's unfortunate because, I don't want to dig into him too bad because I do think that most of it is because of the injury. That is unfortunate because it did come at a crucial time in his development. But, this is Chelsea, man. You just got to – this is a ruthless club. This is how life is at these clubs, man. He's not good enough right now. Neither is Nicholas Jackson. And he's worse than Nicholas Jackson. So I think it's just better to, not waste our time.
You made a good point about the Chelsea standards. Under Roman Abramovich, it was winning trophies at all costs. If you weren't in a final, at minimum, it was sackable. There were times where Roberto Di Matteo actually won a Champions League and was still sacked because that's just the kind of levels that Chelsea expect from people, that even winning trophies isn't good enough. Now we're in the Todd Boehly era. A lot of people don't like him because they're so used to the Roman Abramovich era where trophies are everything, and Todd Boehly's taking a different approach of nurturing youth, trying to develop them into either good players or what most people believe, sell them off for profit. What do you think about this new Todd Boehly regime and how it's going so far in the year and a half it's been?
I think it's been rocky. I think Todd Boehly came in and he had a vision. He had an idea of exactly what he wanted to do, and he thought it'd be easier than what it is. It's not as easy as just buying a bunch of high potential young players and going out there and competing at the highest level. And I don't think that's what he was trying to do. I don't think he bought a bunch of young Brazilians and the 18-year-olds. He didn't buy Madueke and say, hey Madueke, go out there. I need 30 GA from you this year.
Yeah.
he knew that we weren't going to compete at the highest level, and I think that that's been disconnect with fans and the owners. I don't think the fans really expected. I don't think the owners expected this. They obviously didn't expect us to be 10th. I think they would have been fine with like a 5th place finish, Europa League. But
there's been reports though that Todd Boehly was upset about not being in the Champions League because he assumed that Chelsea were just automatically given into the Champions League because of how successful they've been over the years. So, do you think that they still wanted the Champions League football, or do you think that they would have just been okay with the amount of money he's been spending to get Europa League and not recoup as much as he would like?
Certainly, he wanted Champions League. He obviously would have wanted it, but I think he just would have been okay with Europa League because, like I said, unless I'm just giving him too much credit, I don't think you buy a bunch of 18-year-olds and say, hey, be one of the 4 best teams in the best league in Europe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or maybe I am just giving him too much credit, and he did think that a bunch of 18-year-olds could do that. But I think that a lot of the Todd Boehly hate has been overdone. I don't think Todd Boehly really went to Thomas Tuchel and said, hey, play with 11 outfielders. I don't think that really happened. It might have happened. But I don't think, I think a lot of this stuff is just made up,
Yeah.
But,
'cause that's a little too unbelievable for someone of, whether you're a football fan or not. If you're buying something for a couple $1 billion, you're going to be knowledgeable about how things work.
Yeah, you at least know how a team is set up.
Yeah, you know that you can't play a 4-4-3 or whatever the position was.
Yeah.
You know that there has to be a goalkeeper. You know that there has to be 11 players out on the pitch. And like you said, going back to the young players, I agree that you don't think that you're going to go out there and win trophies with 18, 19, 20-year-olds, but to build it up. But some people think, like, it's FIFA, where, you can go out there and buy some of these young wonder kids and instantly throw them in and get some results. But I'm with you. I don't think that you can realistically go out there and say, David Washington, go out there and win me some games. Enzo Fernandez, go out there and single-handedly win me some games. So I get your point, but I'd have to say that Todd Boehly's making a huge mess of this right now.
Yeah, and I do, obviously he didn't think we would be coming in 10th in possibly back-to-back seasons in which we're not finishing 10th this year.
Yeah, because that's a disaster class.
Yeah. But, obviously he didn't think it was good enough because Graham Potter got sacked.
True.
But, it's just, he unfortunately for the fans, he's a businessman, and he's coming into a new venture, and it's sometimes this stuff is rocky in the start, and I think he has in the second season he has made good steps. Cole Palmer's a good buy, and Cuckoo's a good buy. Batty Shield's a good buy. He has bought good players. It was just when he first bought the team, he dug himself in such a big hole with the likes of. He's been better this season, but likes of Cucurella. The manager appointments have not been good enough.
Second, Tuchel for a proven winner for someone like Graham Potter, who's more of a project.
And on it, but with Tuchel, it was bad at the end too. I just want to put that out there because a lot of fans, Chelsea fans, like to pretend that it was just all sunshine and rainbows before Tuchel got sacked. It wasn't. We got smacked up by Leeds.
Yeah, you lost to Dinamo Zagreb.
That's he got sacked after that game, and but regardless, it would have been better with Tuchel than it was with Potter, and it would have been better with Tuchel than what it is right now with Pochettino. But
so where do you go if you're the Pochettino out guy? Where do you go next with the next manager? Do you go out there and try De Zerbi? I honestly don't think that could happen because he would see what happened to a previous Brighton manager, had the world at his fingertips, and now look at how bad Graham Potter's career is now. Do you think that the Chelsea pull is just that strong that he would say, forget it, I would go there if they offered me the job, or do you think he would hold out? Where do you think that you go next with the manager?
I think it depends on how with De Zerbi, I think it depends on how his other managerial prospects would be looking. I do think our pool is big enough to take, a De Zerbi from a Brighton again.
Mm-hmm.
But like if it's us or even another decent team, I think
Like Man United, or Chelsea. Who do you think that he would pick you, or do you think he'd pick Man United? Because I think he would go pick Man United only because of what happened to the previous Brighton manager. If it were to happen to anyone else, I think he'd be more of, all right, why can't I? Because you don't make it to a professional level like a Brighton. Yes, they're a smaller club, but you don't make it to that level without having the utmost confidence in yourself.
I think Chelsea and Man United are very close because they're both dysfunctional right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they both offer pluses on opposed to the other that are different. Manchester United, they're dysfunctional, but it's not quite to the level I think that Chelsea is. Like it's just like Chelsea, the squad at Chelsea, you're just like, like last year, some of the players weren't even changing in the changing room. It was just you have so many unknown pieces at Chelsea.
Yeah,
players are coming in and out. Everybody, you don't know what how the players will fit. Like you have Enzo and Caicedo. Pochettino right now apparently can't figure out how to fit them together.
Yeah, then you got Conor Gallagher out there as a 10.
Yeah, which don't get me started on that right now. I'm just gonna say I don't think Conor Gallagher should be playing the 10 right now, but
understandable.
Yeah, but then when you look at Chelsea, the positive for Chelsea, I think they have a better young nucleus of players than Manchester United does. I think you look at Enzo, Caicedo, Badiashile, Madueke, Cole Palmer, and Kunku. He's not young, but he's not old. He's like 26.
He's getting towards his prime, yeah.
Yeah. You can look at all those young players, and I think that would be appealing to a manager that would know that he's getting that security. Because that's the thing with Chelsea, you don't know if you're going to get that security. The new owners that Chelsea have reiterated time and time again that they want to give managers time. But when you look at what happened last year with sacking Graham Potter after not even a full season,
yeah,
some people will say, well, their hand was forced; they had to do it. Well, some people will say, well, they just didn't give them time. I think we had to do it. But still, like you said, if you're another manager, you'd be looking like, well, if that was me, I would want more time.
Oh, yeah.
So,
and United are known for giving their managers time. Too much time, in fact. You look at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, probably should have been fired years before he eventually was fired. Rangnick is probably the only one who didn't get time, but that was because you hired a sporting director as a coach. That was stupid. Look at Eric Ten Hag. He's out here getting a year and a half after he finished dead last in the Champions League group with Copenhagen and Galatasaray. So, I get it from that point that you probably pick Man United because of the job security.
But then when you look at their players, though, I think Manchester United has a lot more dead players than Chelsea does.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, Chelsea, some of the players are underperforming, but you can still see there's a player in there.
Yeah.
Like
you have Johnny Evans and Victor Lindelof
and
Wan-Bissaka and Anthony Martial.
And Anthony.
Yeah. Yeah, you got fidget spinners and Beyblades out there. And then you got old man, 36-year-old Johnny Evans, who got relegated with Leicester, starting over Rafael Varane. So, I get your point. Let's end it on this, though. Where do Chelsea finish? Do Chelsea get into a European place? We know Champions League isn't out there. Europa League, 5th place might be too big of a stretch, but you could maybe get 6th, 7th place. Would that be doable? And would that be something that you would be okay with as a Chelsea fan? Would you accept that?
I think with how the season has started, I think if you finish in European places, finish 6th, 7th, you have to take that, honestly.
Going Conference League wouldn't be bad.
Oh, it'd be bad. it'd be bad. I wouldn't be ecstatic about it. I'd watch the games, but I wouldn't, if we win the Conference League, I'm not going to throw a parade.
Yeah.
But, I just think at this point, we didn't play in Europe this year. I think at this point you take what you can get. We have a squad big enough to play in Europe. So when we're only playing one game a week, a lot of players don't get the time that you would like them to get. So I think playing in Europe just for managing the squad would be good. But yeah, I think we can get if I had to pick, I would say 7th.
Okay.
But I think
because I'm going more 8th, 9th. I think top 4 is locked up, and then you have so you'll have Arsenal, Villa, Spurs.
I'm just waiting.
West Ham,
I need Spurs
United.
to get a little Spursies so we can finish 5th.
Yeah.
I think we can do 5th if they do that.
But those teams are already fighting for all the European places, not including City and Liverpool, who probably have 1 and 2 locked up. That's 6, 7 teams already there. And if you guys were playing better for a longer period of the season, then maybe I could. But 20 games in and you're 10th place, I think that kind of says.
But we're
who you are
only
as a team.
separated by like 3 points between like 10th and like 7th is separated by like 3 points, 4 points.
I think it's 5 or 6 now because West Ham drew and Brighton got a point too.
West Ham is 6, aren't they?
Yeah, and Brighton are 7th or something like that.
We're like, anyways, it's not like, a week of games and we're 6th.
Yeah.
So
In an ideal world, because you also have to think you have to win all those games too.
Yeah,
It's not just
we're
all
3
right,
points
we're
behind
there.
Brighton for 7th. So,
Okay.
So I mean, yeah, and we get, if we just get a little luck and Spurs spur it up, we get 5th, I think.
In Big Ange, I trust they will be getting Champions League football
I don't.
at minimum. They get Europa League. They get 5th because they're going to bring in some good players. But that's for another video. You'll see that one after. This one will probably be posted after that one goes up. But if you haven't, go watch our top 4 predictions and who you think is going to win the league and finish top 4. Let me know what you think about Chelsea. Do you think he got it right or wrong? Let us know in the comment section below. And I hope you guys have a good one.
Watch out.